You have to work with other people, and sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes they are in your face. God, I'm talking to myself too. But you still have to work with that person, so you have to lean over the shoulder and see what the result is that you want. You have to be the adult, and you have to let it go, because I can't run a race carrying your bags, my bags, and everybody else's bags.
I'm Dr. Kathy Martin, and I am living proof that LaSharon Combs, Coach Shay, and UCVI leadership processes and strategic avenues work.
Wow, that was a technical difficulty there. Hey guys, how you doing? This is Sharon with the Push channel. Push, often people say pray until something happens. This is my blog. I'm just like protest the underlying systems and habits, because the things that happen, typically they're not always what you see is not always what you get, And so today we're going to talk about when you're healing, 10 things you may encounter as you heal. Definitely in family dynamics. Every year, I know you guys hear me say, look, you don't have to go to the family picnic if it's not a safe place for you, if you don't feel comfortable, as evidenced by history and patterns. Not if you don't feel comfortable because you out here doing some messing, you're the messy one. But no, if you know that you're not the messy one, and it's just, you're trying to heal, you're trying to grow, you're trying to move and develop and keep growing, keep spouting, glow up, whatever it is that you're trying to do and you are doing, then you don't owe it to anybody to go back to certain places. And often what happens when it's family, I'm gonna go over some of these 10 steps, but what happens when you begin to grow? Family really can be all right, y'all, here we go, right here. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna hit these 10 things, maybe about 15 minutes or less. Family really can be the first smear campaign, the first character assassination campaign or attempt that you survive. It really can be the first one that you survive, and hopefully you can thrive after it. But you'll be like, dang, because we have these illusions of family. Just like when you come up, people say, hey, that's not fair. And so we have an illusion. Those of you who've been in public school or just Bible Belt, you have an illusion that life is fair and that life somewhere is going to be fair. But then you realize once you get older, oh man, life ain't fair, And it's crazy because you really knew that, for those of you who have a biblical background, because favor is not fair. But you like favor when it's in your benefit, but just think about when it's not benefiting somebody as well. So anyway, things aren't fair, and family is not always oh my God, my family's amazing. And my family is amazing, by the way. But family is still family, and the things you go through with family really do help prepare you for life, whether you think that way or not. If you will let go of your assumptions of family and just let family be family, like deal with it as it is, my gosh, you will develop muscles and skills that you did not even know you could carry. And so, like, the first smear campaign that you survive probably is family. And you can recognize it with things like this. Because then when you see it outside of your family, you'll be like, oh, I've seen that before. She thinks she's better than everybody else, or he's not loyal. Those are statements that have nothing to do with what you may have actually done. That is just somebody else, how they seeing it from another point or space. There is no as evidence by. It's just, oh, they think such and such and such. They don't know what you think because you're in your brain. You haven't even communicated. So that's something they're carrying, but they're saying it to somebody that is not you. That's why it's the smear. It's something to diminish or bring you down, or maybe equalize, where someone else says something good about you. They be like, oh, they think this or such, and they're saying it to that audience. So they're smearing you. Let me go ahead and get into the top 10 things. I don't want to get caught explaining what it is. You know what it is. But often when you begin to heal what they don't confront, you know how it is. You know how our family is. I don't even know why you tripping. So they're not confronting it. They're choosing to just be like, that is what it is. Let's just go with it. But if you want to heal from that, then that means you're going to confront it and you're going to do something different. You're not doing it because of anything with them. You're just growing on your own. And again, these are the things that could incur the smear, right? This is what could incur the smear. So keep growing. Something I'm saying right now is family can't counsel what God is called, period. And so there are times when I have to say, do I go with what they say, or do Do I just stay over here and keep growing? Like, is it a deal breaker? How can I preserve the relationship and still not harm myself or my future? And if there's a way that can happen, I'll preserve it. If it's not, then I just have to grow and keep walking. And I hope you will grow and keep walking, because it'll work out. And if it doesn't, keep growing. God has something better for you. So yeah, say this when people is like, you changed. Just know that you did on purpose. You changed on purpose. So the first thing I want to actually hit and talk about is, when it's a smear, it's going to work better when it's close. Family is the perfect lab for a smear. It's the perfect place to mix up a smear, because the audience already loves the smear, whether that's the avoidant, the narcissist, the messy person, the jealous person, the insecure person, because most of those things are going to come from insecurity when it grows distorted, type of speak. So they already love the carrier of the smear because that person's family and they've been around. And if they don't love them, then they probably fear what drama or what more they're going to have to experience if they value truth instead of the smear. And what valuing truth would look like is if somebody brought them something like, man, they think they're better than such and such. Then the person just says, no, they don't. When they say people who speak nice of you in rooms that you're not in, that means that they shut that down. Like if somebody brought me something about someone that, and I'm just like, no, I'm team that person, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm not gonna fight them or anything. I'm gonna be like, no, I don't know how to be like that. Oh, she wouldn't do that or something like that. But what happens when it's close, if 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 they fear the drama or they don't want the drama, they just want peace, then they're gonna go with the peaceful route, even if it's not the actual truth, if it's not factual, even if it's not the right thing, they're still gonna go with that. And so just know that the smear works best when it's close. You still have to forgive all the people involved, so that you can grow, not because it's a requirement for you to grow, because if you don't, you will always be kind of connected and held to that. So no, the closer the tie, the stickier the lie, period. They're going to want it to stick. Oh, wait till I get to, like, I think it's number 4. So the enabler wants peace, not the truth. They just want peace, y'all. That's number 2. The enabler wants peace, not truth. So come on. Oh my God. Just, we know such and such may be on a power trip, or we know this person only thinks to themselves, but they just want peace. Some family members don't co-sign the smear because they think you're wrong. They actually co-sign the smear because they can't handle the other person's, the smearers, like I said, the insecure, whether that's narcissism, jealousy, envy, whatever it is. They can't handle that person's rage if they stand up. So keeping the boat steady matters more than keeping your name clean. So you're going to be smeared. Some stuff is going to be thrown on you. Some allegation, whatever, some things will be made. Some things will be said. And what's crazy is that things will change over time. They'll change over time, but the truth doesn't have to change. The truth doesn't have to change. Well, let me focus. So number 2 is the enabler of the smear campaign, the carrier of the smear campaign, the one who had just watched the smear campaign but not say nothing. They actually want peace. Their desire for peace takes precedence over their desire for truth. And so if you're like a lifelong learner or you want to grow and develop, you're going to want truth so that you can actually deal with what really is. The enabler may not want that. And I don't even want to say that's right or wrong. I just want to let you know things you may encounter as you heal. As you're healing, these are things you may encounter. Number 3, familiarity breeds permission. Just because people are in proximity to you and they're familiar with you, the same people who watched you be mistreated for years will feel entitled to tell you how to heal. Oh my God, I remember something I went through. It was in 2025, and we all went to an event early, like in February or something. And after the event, it was me, a family member, and a friend in a car. We were dropping somebody off, and we were all in like a good zone. And the family member said from the back, "Oh, I'll just be glad when you just get over this. Just get over this." And I remember I thought, like, what makes you think I'm not over it? Because we weren't. It was not the focus of our conversation. And I just telling you, they have gotten comfortable. They knew They knew something was wrong. They knew it was wrong how it went down, to the fact that they were like, I'm sorry this is happening to you and such and such. But still, the family will tell you, like, they want you to just, hey, why don't just let it go? You know how they are. So you don't have, almost like you don't have a right to be hurt by betrayal or by the smear. And your hurt is now making them uncomfortable because they feel like they have permission to tell you to get over it yesterday, because they're just so used to it. You used to take the hits. You used to know this person was like this and it wasn't a problem. Why are you tripping now? And that's almost like if somebody says, hey, somebody raped me. And then you're like, well, why are you saying something now? You didn't say it then. They molested me. Why are you saying it now? You didn't say it then. So familiarity breeds permission, again, because these are how smear campaigns stay. And the character assassination is there. You still have to choose to heal. You don't go fight each of these things. These are things you may encounter, but it is not for you to fight at each of these things at all. At all. All right. Number 4 is they will rewrite the story for their own guilt. If they admit you were mistreated and you were right to leave, then they have to admit that they didn't protect you. That's crazy. That guilt is eating them up. And I did not realize that. I was like, why are they saying get over it? Or, it's just let it go. And it's because they have to live with the fact that they saw it go down and they didn't say anything. Remember, because you're family too. You're family too. And so, yeah, it's okay. Just let it go. The smear gives them permission to stay put. If you're painted as too sensitive, selfish, holding a grudge, then they don't have to change nothing. They don't have to do anything different. Your boundary highlights their lack of boundaries. Message: your boundary highlights their lack of boundaries. And the smear helps them ignore that mirror. And so they'll just let it go on and let it go on and let it go on. They want you, number 6, they want you to get over it because they want to get on with it. Your truth holds up the family group chat like a traffic jam. You will be somewhere minding your own business. Oh my God, this happened, y'all. You somewhere minding your own business. You have healed. Now you're doing whatever process that gives you life and is life given to you. And your family will still be talking about something, or it'll come up in a meeting or in a thing that they're dealing with. They want to be sure that the holiday photo, the fake piece, the illusion of unity, like your healing is inconvenient because it shines a light on the dysfunction or on the things that are, it shines a light on injustice. Dang, it shines a light on injustice. Now, bear in mind, it's something for you in this. You're supposed to grow too, because you may have been a part of previous smears. Hello? You're just choosing to move differently now and get your healing. So and with the smear, some family members may choose to believe the things about you, the lies, the stickier the lie. Remember where it was number 1. They may choose to believe it out of fear, especially if they're dealing with a narcissist, because a narcissistic smear isn't just words, it's intimidation. And whether you're on the enabler side or on the other side, whether intimidation is a key part of what's popping off. So people who once agreed you were mistreated, they'll start to doubt themselves when the narcissist flips on like the charm switch or the threats. Fear warps memory fast. I've actually had somebody come and say to me, somebody who was there when something happens, and we'd had conversations and conversations about it. And then I had moved on and I started healing, because I don't think you have to go and do things that make you uncomfortable, with whether it's with family or not. I will go, but I won't go if it's uncomfortable or not. Dude, I've healed a bit. And the time that I have left, that time is mine. I get to choose to do with it. The Lord gets to choose and I get to choose. And I can't be moving based out of intimidation, manipulation, and things like that. I just don't want it, guys. I don't want it. I don't want it no more. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I don't want it no more. And being out of it, like I have been out of it, woo, just different things, healthier. Okay, anyway, the point is, number 7, some family members will believe it out of fear. Fear will warp memory fast. And so I had somebody who had walked through something with me for months. And I was just like, well, such and such, wanting to take the high road, wanting to do best. Not saying you're not mad or feeling some type of way, but wanting to make informed and do the right thing on purpose, intentionally. And do you know, like about 8 months after all of that stuff went down, the person and I were doing something together, not the smear person, but the person who walked through it and who was identifying things to me was like, yeah, well, I heard later that it was because of this. This is almost 8 months later. Are you serious? You were there. You were there. And I didn't get it. But you know what? Fear does warp memory. And that was a family member. People want things to get back like a thermostat. They want things to get back to whatever temperature they're used to it being to. Now, these other ones I'll go over really quick. Number 8 is loyalty is weaponized. Families often prize loyalty over integrity. So even if everybody got somebody in their family, say like a brother or a sister, they're messy, they own their stuff. Oh my God, they are X factor. You don't know what variable it's going to be today, what value it is. Is it 2 or is it 10? Or is it 100? Is it 0 to 100? Every family has people like that. You just don't even know what's going to happen. But instead of saying, hey, that person is wrong, it's like, well, they family. So loyalty is prized over integrity. Now, when you begin to grow and heal and you want to operate in alignment truly from the core inside out, you're going to start valuing integrity. What's true, what's real. And so you leaving feels like betrayal to people who feel like family over everything. They want to protect the family's image more so than the family members' well-being. They love the image more than they love the members. Dang, that's something, y'all. They love the image and how we look outside more than they love the members. Now, I love the image too, so I don't put everything out. I'm saying these are things you may encounter as you heal. And so know that. Don't go try to fight and be like, you should care about the members more than you care about the image. No, people are people. People are people. These are just things you will encounter as you heal. Because when you decide to heal, it's decide. You deciding on something, healing, and everything that would prevent that or everything else is side, like homicide, suicide, pesticides. You got to kill everything else. If you've decided on healing, anything that's not conducive to your healing and not pushing that healing, it dies. It has to die because you decided. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about you trying to make somebody else have integrity or do anything like that. No, people are people, and you have to let people be who they are. If they decide to heal, then they may encounter these 10 things. But right now, you may be encountering them because you have decided to heal. So loyalty will be weaponized. And if you begin, not if, when you begin to thrive and you're like, oh, wait a minute, it's happening. That's their exposure. That's their exposure. And that's something that's intense. You have to kind of navigate that. I don't have a lot to say about that because I don't have a lot to say about that because you don't want to relish in somebody being exposed. And it's funny because you'll see things happen because people were wrong, but you still love those people because it's your family. So it's an odd place to be. Like you somewhat feel validated and vindicated, like, yay, at least something true is coming out, or, I wasn't a monster that they tried to paint me as. But at the same time, you love them. So if it's somebody you love, you only want to see them be jacked up like that. It's a crazy thing. But just know that your thriving is their exposure. The healthier you get, the more obvious the smear looks like nonsense. People began to see, but that can't be your driver. And that has to be a byproduct. You still have to focus on your healing. The more your absence exposes, the systems rot. So as you're doing your thing, say, me, you, whoever, we're doing our thing. We're thriving. We're seeing success. We're growing. Life is good. We're having life is for living and life is good. And that smile comes back. The smear campaign is not beating you down, making you be silent and making you just be in the dark like what? But no, you doing your thing and you're living, and they are not centered. The family's not centered. The smear is no longer centered. You are centered. Your healing is centered. The fruits of your healing is centered. These good things, possibilities, stuff happening. What is going on is good over here on this side of the smear. And you're getting healthier and healthier. And the more obvious that smear was nonsense, that it was not true, that the stuff didn't go down like people wanted to say. And your absence from that system exposes how rotten, toxic, messed up that system may be. And some folks are going to resent that. They resent your glow because it makes them look dim. They resent your glow because it makes them look dim. And that's why I say, like, humility, true humility, guys, is being everything God created you to be, but not forcing anybody else to be less than he created them to be. My shine never has to dim your shine. You better shine on. You better shine on. And number 10 is healing makes you harder to manipulate because you decided to heal and you are stuck with integrity and truth, even when it's uncomfortable and it hurts or whatnot. It makes you harder to manipulate. The smear is designed to pull you back in, to make you defend, to make you explain, or grovel for acceptance. Once you stop taking that bait, once you stop chasing other people's carrots, they lose their favorite game. So they'll push you to just get over it already to see if you'll fold. Listen, these are 10 things you may experience. You may experience. And you will hear, well, why don't you just get over it? Especially from family members, because they're used to the dysfunction or the toxicity, or they're used to the hits, you know. This is how I grew up and I'm fine. Are you? Are you fine? You know, so when they say just get over it, your silence is cheaper. Your boundary costs them fake peace, and pretending nothing happened is easier than just apologizing for standing by while it did happen, you know? And that's the fact. So yeah, anyway, that's all I have today. Sometimes family is people who rather you keep silent than for you to be whole, than to keep you whole. And the smear was never about you. It's just about who's controlling the story, who's controlling the narrative. Somebody, and the other people know. That's why the enablers and stuff stand by, because they know they too can be smeared. And that it be fear, or they could just be like, I don't want it. I don't have capacity. Just let it be peaceful. But it was never about you. You know, they made the focus of it you on the smear, but it's about controlling the story. Heal anyway. Heal anyway. Let them say what they want to say. Let them do what they want to do. The truth does come out because it's patterns over promises. And most people repeat patterns until they decide to do something different. It's patterns over promises. Heal anyway, leave anyway, grow anyway, stay lit, stay free. I'm gonna say stay salty, and people be like, no, don't be salty, but no, stay salty biblically, stay lit biblically, stay free biblically, stay you. Stay you. The enemy wins if he can make your heart be like the heart of someone who wronged you, because now it's two wrongs. When we fight fire with fire, we only leave a pile of ashes. You can't change people, but you can change you. Y'all be safe. God bless. My name is Sharon. This is the Push Channel. Protest those underlying systems and habits that keep you from walking in freedom. Optimum freedom. Y'all be easy. Again, God bless. I'll talk to y'all later. Soaking up what it's supposed to soak up. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys about the laws of communication. Why am I doing that? Because things change all the time, and when there's a change, we have to communicate that change. We have to use our words, our nonverbals, channels, email, rollouts, all of that. We have to communicate those changes.
Hey, I'm Dr. Kathy Martin. I'm with Possibility Thinking Consulting. I'm here at the Scrub Ball, and let me tell you what I just heard. I just came out of LaSharon Combs' session, and it was phenomenal. It was on communication, and I want you to know she took that thing and she broke it down. The great thing about it is that she went from every level, as if you were an entry-level person or whether you were an executive.